Hey everyone, you're watching VGO40 and we are going to talk about how to get your tier gear today. Mostly tier 1 and I'll have another video later on how to get tier 2, tier 2 tainted, and tier 3. There are two ways to get your tier gear. One is from running guild raids and turning in commendations that you get for just participating. And the other is for having 20 or more people in your guild raid with charges, and then you can get the drops for that raid. So if you don't have enough people with charges, you won't get the tier drops. How do you tell if you have charges? In the guild raid menu down here at the bottom, this weekly rewards time, if it says 2 out of 2 or 1 out of 2, you still have a charge for that raid and you can still help get gear for that raid. Now, if it says 750 out of something or something like that, that means that you're going to get friendship tokens for running that raid, but you're not going to be one of the people contributing that towards getting armor for that raid. For tier 1 gear, you're going to be running Dragon Sky Normal, Warhammer Hall Normal. Those will give you your commendations. And these are the only two that will give commendations for tier 1 that you need. Warhammer Abyss and Warhammer Hall, both in normal mode, will also drop your armor. So those 4 dungeons will drop your armor, but only the first 2 will give you the commendations you need. Now for your adventure, or for your tier 2, Dragon Sky Adventure, Warhammer Hall Adventure, Warhammer Abyss Adventure, and Warhammer Peak Adventure will give you your tier gear for that. Now, they removed the option for just turning in your tier 1 gear, so we're going to need to update that section. Okay, in your inventory is a little circle thing that says event, and that is where you go to get your tier 1 gear from Commendations, because it no longer is in the normal turn-in location. So you can actually get almost all your items and everything under this one icon. So when you click the event, down at the bottom corner is Felix, and you go to him for all your tier 1 conversion items and options. The second tab down here is where you're going to go for turning in your tier 1 commendations, and you're going to exchange them here for a certain type of commendation. And here's your Dragon Sky and then your Warhammer Hall, and that's how you get your different, you're going to convert those. You can see there's no conversion for Abyss or Peak, so you're going to need those Dragon Sky and Warhammer Hall for your tier 1 gear. Now once you pick one of these, you're going to go into Old World Gear Exchange, and here you're going to be able to go to the Twilight Council, Aldara Ore, Aedion Ruins. Each of those down at the bottom, you'll see a pink chest, and that will be what you turn in those commendations for in order to get your different tier 1 drops. So that'll be for your legs, your arms, your set, and whatnot. The last option there does not give you any tier gear, because you can see they've got purple around the outside of the boxes and not pink. The other is T1 set conversion. So if you have bought from the auction house, the guild auction house, or the regular auction house, some tier 1 pieces, you can convert them over here under T1 set conversion to either your leather or cloth armor. Just pick the appropriate section. Here I'm in heavy armor, and I can then convert them over. So this will allow you to get the piece you need in order to craft your gear. If you can only find heavy armor or it's cheaper, you can then craft your other pieces this way. Also under here is your T2 set conversion, where you can do the same thing. If you have a T2 piece, you can exchange it for leather or cloth to get a better price. Below that, which I'm not sure I would recommend, but if you have a tier 2 drop and you need to still get your tier 1 gear, you can exchange your tier 2 piece for a tier 1 piece and then craft your tier 1 gear. The other item you need for your tier gear are these adventure hearts, and they can be purchased in the shop for 30 gold. Now, they also said you could get them from dismantling your tier set. However, when I've dismantled mine, I have not seen that. So I'm not sure if that's going to be added later, but they did have it in the update notes, and I haven't seen that yet. So right now, I believe you can only get these by purchasing them. Once you have the box for your tier 1 gear, you go down to it and you can open that, and that will give the option to pick from leather armor, cloth armor, or heavy armor. And so you're going to select the one that you use. Now that is if you're buying it with Commendations. If you have it already because you are buying it from your guild auction house, you don't need to go down through that step. Make sure you're choosing the correct class for when you purchase these items. So here you're going to need, you can see that Dragon Rider, Inquisitor, and Templar have different tabs, and they each need different items to craft your tier 1 gear. Now below this is an option. If you don't have your tier 1 gear already, you can just go straight to tier 2 if you have the piece for tier 1 and tier 2. So that is an option, but definitely start, if you don't already have the drops for both, start with your tier 1 because you can easily upgrade to tier 2. You don't need to wait for 2 sets. Okay, so either go into the auction house to purchase the items you need, or you work on your crafting skills. I find it useful to put a watch on these and buy in low quantities if you need your pieces and you're not seeing it in the auction house. Click the little star to put a watch on that item. Then you'll get an icon that pops up saying, do you want to purchase these whenever they go in for sale? Now here, once you have the items, you can exchange them, and then you go into your inventory and you can then equip them. Now they're really low level, expect that. You're going to need to work on your smelting and other things to get these up to a decent level. Now under equipment, you can go into your smelting tab and you can then smelt your tier gear up. Now, just a little tip, you can dismantle these to get your smelting stones back if you have upgraded them accidentally or need to cement the smelting gear and have an extra piece. You can dismantle these, but go ahead and smelt these up and to your max, and that will help. Now, you might see that these are not as good as some of the dungeon drops you get as far as what your tank rating or DPS rating might be. These have a bonus to them if you have 2 or 5 pieces, so you're definitely going to want your tier gear. Even though you might see stuff from dungeons, the bonuses are well worth it. Besides smelting, make sure to go into that cleanse tab, and you're going to want to cleanse your gear to get it as close to either S or SS as you can. I would not recommend checking the checkbox below and auto smelting it, because it will tell you that do you want to get auto smelt to get to S, and so if you get a double S, it will skip over that and you'll lose it. So don't do the checkbox option. You're watching VGO 40, and this is VGO Girl, and hopefully you found this helpful for getting your tier 1 gear. We'll see you next time in World of Kings.